Kingdom Hearts Melody of Memory was a great surprise in this end of the year, being a lot of fun all throughout the journey. As a huge Kingdom Hearts fan, I wasn't that excited for a rhythm game, having almost no experience in them with the exception of some Guitar Hero games when I was little. The gameplay trailer I saw also seemed kinda weird, consisting of a party attacking Heartless directly, and I wasn't sure what to make of it. To be honest, I almost didn't buy this game at launch, but I wanted to see where the story was going, and I always loved the music in the franchise, mostly composed by Yoko Shimomura. So I figured I'd give the game a try and see what I would make of it, and I'm very glad I did. First thing I'll say is, if you're even just a little interested in the game, you should try the demo. There's demos available in every platform, PlayStation 4, Xbox One and Switch. It was one of the major factors that made me get the game. I thought it would be too hard for me and that it would require too much precision, which I'm not that fond of. Melody of Memory, however, is very welcoming to different kinds of players. The game allows you to change the difficulty in every song you pick, and also has 3 different modes to play. So it's pretty easy to pick settings that will be a challenge for you. After my run in the demo, I found Standard, the medium difficulty, to be the best for me, since the hardest difficulty was quite the jump and I found it mostly frustrating, at least at first. Keeping in mind I wouldn't get too wrapped up in getting all the perfect scores and whatnot, I decided to get the game and play it at my own pace. My main focus at first was getting through the story. Ever since Kingdom Hearts 3, I've been waiting like crazy for more details on where the story is going. A lot has been set up, and the trailer for Melody of Memory had me even more curious. So I wanted to see it for myself and fast, especially since there will be spoilers everywhere soon. And it turned out most of the stuff you can unlock in this game is going for World Tour anyways, which is a campaign mode, so you have to go through the story first. Even if it's unfortunate for me personally, the game has very little story. It has mostly a very brief retelling of all the Kingdom Hearts games, and I do mean very brief. So brief, I wonder if people would understand the story of the games from watching them. But I guess it could work drawing more people into the series. And it works just fine, considering this is a rhythm game, so it was the best move making the story light in this title. In story mode, each song has a set of 3 quests, and you need to clear some quests before going forward in the game. The required amount of quests to be cleared is pretty okay, especially considering that most quests are pretty easy, basically requiring you to beat the song. Something that was really well done in Melody of Memory was the progression of difficulty, using these quests. At first, the game will ask you to clear songs with basic requirements, and mostly ask you to play on beginner or standard, which will allow you to get more comfortable with the controls, but also granting you the satisfaction of clearing quests and moving forward. As the game progresses, it'll ask you more and more to play the game on Proud, the highest difficulty, and also harder tasks to accomplish in general, such as higher scores and more excellent notes, but mostly having good, challenging goals. So you'll keep getting better and eventually get comfortable playing on the highest difficulty during your playthrough. A few quests were pretty brutal, I gotta admit. To me, the hardest difficulty spike was the day section. The songs got way harder, and simply clearing them on Proud was a monumental task. The song Vector to the Heavens was incredibly brutal, and it required to clear it on Proud for a quest, but after that I felt prepared to take on most challenges. I wish it wasn't that huge of a difficulty spike, however. I didn't have any problems with controls whatsoever. The controller inputs allow for you to pick the style you're most comfortable with, which I thought was very cool and eased my way into the game. I didn't have to memorize exactly button inputs for each note, which was something I had trouble in other rhythm games. Any of the 3 buttons, X, L1 and R1, work for any note, so I mostly started using X to focus on the rhythm and use the other buttons when needed. I did have trouble on some parts with how the game was presented. In the regular mode, your characters run up a straight lane in which notes appear on the center of the screen, and it feels good and easy to keep track of. Maybe it was a little weird that the notes were heartless at first, but you'll quickly get used to it and it won't present any trouble to you. The problem comes when these lanes have curves, which sometimes cause me to have trouble seeing the next notes. You can see in the video playing in the back that uphill curves are disastrous in that sense, especially if the segment involves flying, because you cannot see the next notes and where you have to go. You just have to play the song again knowing where to take the turn. Another problem I had was with movie levels. These levels don't have lanes in them and the movie plays in the back. The problem was that sometimes the imagery on the back would make notes hard to see, either because the images changed suddenly or because of the colors in the back matching the notes. Other than that, the presentation of the game was great, really no other complaints. There's lots of different enemies, the backgrounds give a lot of nostalgia, and it's great playing with different teams with many beloved characters. There's also guest Disney characters for many levels, which reminded me of the old games and their movies too. I'll be discussing story spoilers from now on, so if you want to play the game and see these for yourself, you should skip this section and go to the next one. What can I say, Nomura has disappointed us all once again with Kairi. The whole community agreed that Kairi should have played a bigger role in Kingdom Hearts 3, but was once again a damsel with distress, even though she was a Keyblade wielder now. Nomura did a good job with the extra content and Remind, but it really wasn't enough to fix the damage done in the base game. So everyone was excited because Kairi was to be the focus in this new game. The trailer for Melody of Memory made it more interesting, showing a story from her past. She's in the cover of the game for God's sake. But Kairi is barely even in the game. Like I said, it's understandable that there's not much story in a rhythm game, but at the end of the story, Kairi is given a major chance to shine and have the spotlight for herself, and Sora saves her? And the whole scene is so weird because Sora possesses her, the whole thing just screams Kairi can't do anything for herself, so let's put Sora to save her once again, and it doesn't even make much sense. Seems like Nomura can't write women for the life of him. I also don't really get why Kairi needs to keep training and training forever. No other character so far has had to be on training to go on a journey, but Kairi has to be on training forever for some reason. She could have gone with Riku to find Sora, but once again she doesn't because she's not strong enough. It just felt like a really bad excuse and the game ended with a bad note story-wise. I really hope this pays off in the long run for Kairi because so far it just has been bad. To finish the video, I'll briefly talk about the post-game. With almost everything unlocked during story mode, you may want to synthesize a few songs to complete the catalog, and there's quite a lot of collectibles, but they don't do much overall. Probably what's more interesting for most people is going for trophies and achievements, and it's mostly playing all the songs in all difficulties. If you complete all the quests, you have cleared the hardest songs in Proud, so the rest is just a matter of time. And I decided to do just that and get the Platinum Trophy for this game. It's just refreshing playing some songs every day and taking things at your own pace. This game grows a lot on you as you progress, and if you're like me, you want more of it, so wanting the trophies just seems like a good idea. Don't burn yourself trying to get everything at once or completing the story, and you'll have a lot of fun chasing the rest of the achievements. I'm still taking it easy and grabbing the last few trophies. At the end of the day, it was a great game that stood out by itself, probably against what most people thought, myself included. It has a lot of charm, it looks good, and it was a lot of fun to play. Definitely a title that should be getting more praise around, and I can't wait to see where Kingdom Hearts goes next. Give me more news soon, Square, I really need it. Thank you very much for watching this, it was my first review ever and it was fun doing it. If you enjoyed it, consider giving the video a like and subscribing, you know the drill. Also, tell me what you thought of the video in the comments, I really appreciate any feedback. So that was it, and I'll see you around. Até mais!